In a society that is often very divided in its opinions and actions, one belief that many Americans share is an affinity for religious faith.
We are in a remarkable moment in American history, and in fact in world history. And that is that for the first time, to the best of my knowledge, we have a major political party which by and large is rejecting what the scientific community is saying.
Asked a couple of the candidates on there, are you a climate change skeptic? And for whatever reason, they were afraid to answer yes, and then they sort of bobbed and weaved on that question. I tried to jump in. I said, Jake, you want a skeptic? I'm right here.
Rebento raro como flor na pedra, rebento farto como trigo ao vento. Outras vezes rebento simplesmente no presente do indicativo, como a corrente de cão furioso, como as mãos de lavrador ativo.
To espouse our theological religious beliefs, but we do have members of the clergy here as members of the panel. So I want to start with Genesis 8, verse 21 and 22. Never again will I curse the ground because of man, even though every inclination of his heart is evil from childhood, and never again will I destroy all living creatures as I have done. As long as the earth endures, seed time and harvest, cold and heat, summer and winter, day and night will never cease. I believe that's the infallible word of God, and that's the way it's going to be for his creation.
All right, so in regards to, faith, I think I've definitely I've been impacted by my own grandmother's faith, devout Baptist Christian whose entire worldview is completely contingent on the way she's embraced Christianity. And for me, as a social justice advocate and as someone who worked in environmental justice work for quite some time, a lot of my moral compass and how I expect to advocate for what I think is right is based on, I would say, largely the principles that my grandmother held and raised me to really value and hold in some sort of reverence. So while I'm not religious, I don't think by any means, I'd say a lot of the ways that I talk about issues of morality, ways that I use rhetoric to compel people to think about new perspectives, especially as it pertains towards climate justice and the world that we all share, definitely could trace those to my association with my grandmother.
Well, although I was brought up as a Catholic, I don't really feel like reverence or knowledge of the environment or the world around us, the natural world, was part of my religious education or upbringing, apart from hymns that I was taught as a little girl, where I was taught to recognize that God had made all the beautiful creatures in the world, or stories of St. Francis blessing the animals. But it was also the time in which I was growing up. There was much less awareness of the environment and of the kind of catastrophic effects of human activity on the environment, which we've now become much more aware of. So I think it's a radical shift, and one I very much appreciate when the Pope recently issued his encyclical on the environment. I think that reflects a radical shift in consciousness that's happened in the last 30 or 40 years with the environmental movement, and which I think is also, if you're talking about spirituality and religious upbringing, I think that there's been an infusion into people's understanding of the world and our relationship to the landscape, of other forms of thinking about it, whether they come from Native American traditions of spirituality or Buddhist traditions of spirituality, recognizing that we are part of the world and that we have an enormous impact. It's not just there for us to exploit. It's not a hierarchical relationship. It's in fact a symbiotic and circular one.
Back to follow-up segment tonight, another global warming study debunked in the journal Nature Geoscience. A study was printed that showed the oceans rising because of global warming. Well, now the magazine says, sorry, study was flawed.